What's up? Guess I forgot to change my actions to wave, but whatever. It's another random squirrel. For me, I guess it's first thing in the morning, although it's probably around about lunchtime. You have to excuse me if I mutter and mumble somewhat. I have kind of just woken up, and the coffee I've had for breakfast hasn't quite hit my bloodstream yet, so still a little bit foggy and hazy, and mutter, grumble. But it's a beautiful evening in San Andreas. I'm going to go for a little bit of a short stroll here and get in my new vehicle, go for a 4x4, I think. The reason I'm in here kind of squirreling about in the wildlands of San Andreas is I wanted to talk about dream interpretation. Because I was playing online and somebody brought it up, not too long ago. And at that point, it really wasn't kind of the place to sort of talk deeply about something because we were trying to race and I can't concentrate on talking and racing at the same time. So sorry for not, being able to respond more in depth to the person who asked me the question. Because I somehow got the impression it was aimed at me. Maybe I'm just a megalomaniac and I don't know it. I don't know. Anyway, but it was a good thing to think about, whether or not the guy was talking to me specifically or not. It got me to thinking about dream interpretation. And there's a lot of books and stuff, and, people will interpret your dreams one way or another, and sometimes, sometimes the answers you find in those books will seem very true, will ring true inside you. You'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that makes so much sense, or whatever, and it kind of resolves it for you if you've had, some recurring dreams or some dreams that have been kind of affecting you in one way or the other. But some people have a hard time because they pick up these books, or they listen to these people or watch YouTube videos on dream interpretation, and I guess technically this is another one of those videos, but I'm not going to try and interpret anyone's dream specifically, just perhaps offer a perspective or a starting point from which to begin to interpret one's dreams. And the important thing to remember is that your own internal landscape and what images you might have recurring in your dreams, or that for some reason stick to you or cause you to have an emotional reaction to, may come from both outside of you and from within you, from your own personal experiences. As an example, I'll use a recurring nightmare character, I guess, that used to visit me quite often, which was the alien from Aliens. I like to joke, and it's kind of a true story, which is why it's funny, but I was about 10 or 11 years old. I rented the movie Aliens with a buddy of mine on VHS. So I guess that'll date my age, more or less. Anyway. And I used to joke that I didn't, the first time I watched the Aliens movie, I didn't really watch the Aliens movie. I listened to it from behind an armchair. Because it scared the living shit out of me. And, later on I watched it again, and it was still one of my favorite movies, and, it doesn't frighten me anymore. I just think it's cool. But the reason that it frightened me so much was, A, that the alien was genuinely frightening. Like, they did a great job in the creature design. And just the nature of it, well, everybody knows what the alien is, so I don't have to go into any other, random departure on alien squirrel DNA and physiology. Anyway, physiology. Fuck, it random squirreled me anyway. Alien squirrel. I'm just going to take a breath here and kind of give my brain a chance to get back on track. So, the alien creature resonated with something that turned out to be quite personal to me. And I'm not going to go into it, but the point is that the reason it scared me so much, and that me seeing it in a movie caused it to be a recurring nightmare kind of antagonist was because it resonated with a part of something inside of me that connected to me. And once I kind of understood, kind of the outside and inner symbolism of this alien creature that kept showing up in my nightmares, the threat of it kind of fizzled away. And it ceased to be a thing. It became actually a persona that I adopted when I'm in my dreams and lucid, and something might appear to be threatening to me. I now, in my dreams, have the ability to take on the persona of the alien creature and meet something that might otherwise be frightening on its own terms. So understanding that about myself and understanding what it was that creature symbolized to me made me a stronger, better person. Cured my life of a recurring kind of theme of nightmare that, especially when I was younger, caused me a lot of sleepless nights. And that's just one example. And I don't think there's too many dream interpretation books, at least not the classical ones, that would cover something like the alien creature chasing you in your dreams. But they might use something like a black wolf, or a lion, or a shark, or a masked figure, or a completely unseen pursuer of some kind. And all of those things kind of have a similar theme of something chasing you, of something coming up behind you that you feel the need to move away from. Could be anything. Could be deadlines at work. Could be, I don't know, maybe you're sick or dying or old or just somehow unusually aware of your own mortality and you fear what comes next. It could be any number of those things. For a non-Christian who just loves cats, seeing a black cat in your dreams is a good thing for me, because I love black cats. I've never met a black cat that wasn't very friendly and enjoyed, being touched and being affectionate and stuff, and they're lovely animals. At least the ones I've met. Of course, they're cats, so they're slightly assholes. I mean, all cats have a little bit of that in them. It's part of their charm, I guess. Shit, cat squirrel. So yeah, to a non-Christian, or a person like me who's kind of non-religious, although I consider myself spiritual, I guess. Although, I don't know, I think, to get down to it, there is a scientifically explainable framework for all of the things that we are currently calling spiritual, or metaphysical, or paranormal. And at some point we'll get to the point where we can decipher what is actually happening and what is perhaps overly influenced by our own interpretations from a limited knowledge. Shit, I didn't even make it through that sentence before getting squirreled. Like I said, I haven't had my coffee yet, or it hasn't hit my bloodstream yet. But, so to me, I see a black cat in my dream. It's a good thing. You'll say, oh, kitty, yay, I get to play with it. But for someone who perhaps is, and again, I'm not picking on any particular religion, I'm just, for example, a devoutly Christian person might see a black cat or snake as an ill omen, or a bad thing in their dreams. And to them, it might mean something, related to the themes that they've grown up with of serpents and black cats and stuff like that. So for them, it might very well be something unhealthy that's getting into their dreams. So for them, the interpretation of a black cat or a serpent would be completely different from someone like me who just sees black cats and serpents as creatures, just animal creatures. Some serpents are dangerous, some of them are quite harmless. And my reaction to seeing a black panther would be quite different to seeing a black cat. I might still want to make friends, but I don't forget for a second that I'm also most likely going to be lunch if there's ever an opportunity for that thing to eat me. And, yep, big time random squirrel. Man, I think this is the most squirrels per minute I've ever had. We could jump, I suppose, to something like spiders and octopi. I used to have dreams of falling into the dark holes or into deep, deep water. And at the bottom of the dark holes, and at the bottom of the deep, deep water, there was always either a giant spider or a giant octopus. Both of which, if you know anything about spiders and octopi, have rather terrifying mouth parts. And once you're in their tangle of web or tentacles and suckers, it's almost inevitable that you'll get dragged into a slow and horrifying death. And for a long time, those dreams sort of terrified me for that reason. Until after much thought and chin scratching, I came to the conclusion or the realization that it was the significance of the actual creatures, the symbolism of them, in an archetypal sense, that was more important than the sense of doom and death that my own mind was implying upon it or impressing upon the dreams, kind of forcing a subjective symbolism and interpretation upon myself. So I thought I'll try a more objective perspective. And I researched the meaning of spiders and octopuses, octopi, in different, ancient traditions and faiths and mythologies from all over the place. And specifically for me, from like Norse and that kind of end of things, because the majority of my kind of genetic lineage comes from that area of the world. And I think perhaps that there is some sort of residual, propensity to certain imagery carried on in a person's genes, in a person's genetic memory. Just like one can hear some traditional music from where their perhaps grandparents or parents are from that they might not have ever heard before, and somehow it sings to them, resonates in their genetic code. Damn DNA squirrels again. So yeah, for me then I found out about the meaning of spider and the octopus. And they were quite often tied with both chaos and the tying of the world together through the telling of tales. The spider is the one that weaves all lives in some mythologies. It symbolizes fate and memory. And the octopus quite often symbolizes intelligence, perhaps mastery of other dimensional travel. I don't know. There's many different interpretations, but it boiled down to, mixed with the symbolism of going down deep into a cave or down deep into the ocean. Perhaps that symbolized for me going down deep into one's subconscious, into the deep, deep past of one's own soul, the journey of potentially reclaiming memories from past lives, of regaining the identities of past personas that the person had once been, and needing the strength to realize that perhaps in some lives, the person that someone had once been may have been horrible or done horrible things, been a dark being. But it's important not to carry that. Remember it, but don't let it weigh you down. You are who you are now. The acts and the perspective from which you view the world now will inform who you will be. And of course, that is all a choice that you make. If you interpret yourself and mix the interpretation of the dream images that you researched or found out, or perhaps just thought for yourself, if you read many of them and you're not sure, and then you read one and suddenly it seems to fit, go with it. Trust your gut instinct sometimes. Stupid 15-minute thing. So when whatever interpretation resonates with you and feels right, find out where it comes from. Find out what it is about you, perhaps, that would give you an explanation for why it fits, why it resonates with you. You will, in the process, learn about the dream. You will learn about the symbolism. You might potentially learn about, your own kind of genetic prehistory, so much as the cultures and parts of the world that your ancestry comes from. At the very least, you'll learn something about yourself and about your subconscious. Because for me, the spider and the octopus came to mean the danger of discovery of such deep subconscious self-knowledge and perhaps knowledge of, I don't know, maybe the deeper aspects of the world. I'm not saying I know all the secrets or I have all the keys to all the doors or, I can get you the red pill or the blue pill to use Matrix vernacular. I'm just saying I'm open to seeing those things as realities that can be found out, can be accessed. And I think knowing one's own dreams and understanding one's own internal landscape, being able to interpret what comes from outside and what comes from inside, because I think you can meet genuine, other sentient consciousness. I don't know what to call them. You can't really call them creatures. Just independent consciousnesses is there might very well be someone or something you're seeing in your dreams that isn't entirely from within you. That might actually be someone or something trying to say hello. Don't be afraid. In your dreams, you genuinely can't be harmed. Like I said, it seems like there's a safety system. Wake up. I think maybe in rare instances there's just times and situations where people don't wake up, but those are rare, and I think there's genuinely some special circumstances, I think, that influence those kinds of moments. And I think that's an entirely different squirrel. If I get into that, I might never, it might take forever just to do this one. So, but it kind of leads into, why I look so odd right now, I guess, is because my squirrel this time kind of centered around dreams and archetypal sort of situations and imagery. I chose this look because it kind of mimics a little bit character from my book and movie Little Gods. It also resembles a little bit the guys from Dark City, which is a great movie. It has a little bit of the agent vibe from The Matrix. It has a little bit of a Freddy Krueger vibe with that. It has a little bit of the Men in Black vibe. Not the good ones from, the Will Smith movies, like the good guy ones, but like the creepy government hush men kind of guys from, conspiracy theory kind of stuff. It has kind of a Black Hat Man vibe. Some of you, that term will mean nothing. Some of you might perhaps have just shuddered because you know what the term references, shadow people and something like that. That's a whole other squirrel about people who've had very strange experiences with what are called shadow people or Black Hat Men. That's an interesting kind of piece of research to do if you want to learn about creepy things and give yourself nightmares. So, like I said, the reason I chose it is it will have some type of archetypal impact on anyone who watches these videos, and it will kind of resonate with them in a way that, in my mind at least, suits the theme of this random squirrel. So if this was, treated as if it was perhaps a dream sequence, someone was having a dream playing GTA and their character was blabbing on about something very strange. This is perhaps what for me, the character would look like in my dream. The long hair and the goatee or that handlebar lamb chop mustache things would kind of soften the impact a bit and give it a slight wry humor. And I've just come to the conclusion that sort of kind of had nothing to do with nothing. And since I've rambled on and I'm now talking about my character's ridiculous mustache, it's probably an indication I should sign off, because I'm just babbling on about nothing. Just can't help it. Sometimes I like to just talk. But enough is enough. I'm gonna go down to this private little beach here and do things that I shouldn't talk about. Yeah, anyway, alright. TMI, I guess. Have a good one. You know, the usual. Be excellent to one another. Don't stop thinking. I'm sure another random squirrel will run through my head at some time again in the future. We'll talk then. Like I say, I've been saying to my friends and shit, I want to have random squirrels with other people. If I can figure out how the hell to get other people's chat voices to come through when I record these, it'd be fun to have a conversation with somebody else other than just myself. So if you want to come on to a random squirrel, pop a comment down there and see what's up. Maybe you got something you want to talk about, or just a topic you want to babble about. It doesn't have to be personal. It can just be something you're curious about, or something you think about a lot. I'd like to hear ideas from outside my own head, so don't be shy. Have a good one.